YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It is the best 9 to 5 Warzone player on your timeline. In today's video, we're taking a look over the top 5 loadouts in Warzone and Warzone ranked. If you're looking for the best class setups, this is the video to watch. I'm going to be showcasing all of the attachments on these weapons and the benefits of each attachment. So make sure you stick around until the end of the video. Also, don't forget to drop a big thumbs up, drop a sub on the channel, turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss out on the daily Warzone content. Let's hop straight into the class setup. Starting off with the first weapon and the best weapon for those long range engagements and what everyone is really using in these ranked game modes is going to be the MTZ-762, and it is a battle rifle. Hopping into the first attachment for this weapon, we're going to go ahead and toss on a muzzle on it. We're putting on the cautious brake. All right, this is giving us the horizontal recoil control, firing aiming stability while firing this thing. And if we check the stats on this thing, we're going to see that increases horizontal recoil control by about 18%. And since it is a battle rifle, we definitely need that recoil control. For the barrel on the weapon, we're going to go ahead and toss on the MTZ Precision Blackthorn barrel. This is increasing our bullet velocity, range, aiming ideal sway, and aiming stability. So not only that is increasing the range on the weapon, it's increasing the recoil control. Checking the stats, we're going to see that the range does get actually increased by about 25% for both the effective maximum and minimum damage range, and about 30% for that bullet velocity for those long range engagements. For the magazine, you guys want to go ahead and toss on the 30 round mag. I wish this thing had like about 50 bullets. We definitely do need it, but the 30 round mag is a must on this thing. Going ahead with the rear grip, we're putting on the MTZ factory rear grip. This is increasing our gun kick control, recoil control, and firing aiming stability on the weapon. And if we go ahead and check out the stats, we're going to see a recoil control increase for the gun kick control by about 10%. And if you guys don't know what gun kick control is, because I will be talking about it throughout the video, it is how predictable your recoil pattern becomes. The more gun kick control you have on the weapon, the easier and more predictable the recoil is going to be. Going on, we're going to see there's an increase of about 7% for both the horizontal and vertical for this rear grip. And lastly, for the final attachment, we're putting on the MCW Blackjack. This is going to be increasing our firing aiming stability, aiming ideal sway on the weapon. Checking the stats on this thing, we're going to see that it just takes away from the mobility just a little bit, but it does actually help us with the recoil control. Even though it doesn't say, it does help us, and it does increase the accuracy on the weapon. This is the build for the MTZ. As you guys can see, this thing does have the damage, bro, and it absolutely fries. But let's hop into the second loadout. Moving into my favorite SMG, we're going to go ahead and toss on the HRM9. This is definitely the best SMG in the game for those close range engagements. So let's go ahead and toss on a build for this thing. For the muzzle, we are going to start off putting on a ZEM compensated flash hider. This is the best muzzle to use on this weapon because it's going to help with the recoil control, whether that's vertical, horizontal, and just help us with that firing aiming stability. Don't get in checking the stats on this thing. We're going to see that it does increase recoil by about 15% for the vertical and 5% for the horizontal. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, why do you need recoil control for an SMG? It's a close range gun. Well, I do enjoy this build because it is very mobile. You can use it for those close range engagements. For the underbarrel, I want you guys to go ahead and toss on the FTAC MSP98 hand stop. The reason we have this one on is because it is not only going to help us with the movement speed of the weapon, but it's also going to help us with the recoil control. So we're getting best of both worlds. What a lot of people used to use was the DR6 hand stop, and if you guys see the pros on this thing, you are going to see it only increases mobility on the weapon. So we're going to go ahead and toss on the FTAC one, and we're going to see an increase in both recoil for the gun kick control, vertical recoil control by about 7%, and also that weapon mobility. For the magazine, go ahead and toss on the 50 round mag on this thing. For the rear grip, go ahead and toss on the PCS90 assault grip, helping us with the gun kick control, recoil control on the weapon. Checking the stats on this thing, we're going to see about a 10% increase for the gun kick control and 7% for both the horizontal and vertical. For the last attachment, go ahead and toss on the folding stock on this thing, helping us with the recoil control. Checking the stats on it, we're going to see the increases that we're talking about, bro. 14% for the horizontal and vertical. Recoil control, gun kick control, about 9%. As I said, this SMG is something special. This thing does do the damage, and this build that I have, man, this thing has absolutely no recoil. It's so easy to control. So make sure to give this a try. For the third loadout, we are tossing on the Ram 7 assault rifle. This is definitely the second best long range weapon to use in the game, in my opinion, after the MTZ 762 that I showcased. But this thing has a damage, it has mobility, and it has a lot of ammo. So that's what the advantage is. Let's go ahead and toss on a build. For the muzzle, you could go ahead and use two things for here. You could either use the Zem compensated flash hider or the cautious brake as the muzzle. It kind of depends if you want more horizontal recoil control or you want more vertical recoil control. For the barrel, we're using the Cronin headwind long barrel. This is increasing bullet velocity, damage range, increasing aiming idle sway on the weapon, while also increasing aiming firing stability. We're gonna go ahead and check on the stats, see how much the increase in range is. We see about a 21% for both damage range for the effective and minimum, and bullet velocity about 26%. This attachment right here, the underbarrel, is going to be the bread and butter of this weapon loadout, man. All right, we're putting on the Bruin heavy support grip, helping us with the gun kick control, aiming idle sway, horizontal recoil control, and firing aiming stability. This thing, the Ram 7, does have a pretty big kick to it. That is why we're putting a lot of attachments that help with the recoil control on the weapon. All right, we're going to check the stats. See about a 11% increase gun kick control, 12% increase, and then a vertical recoil control of about 4%. For the magazine, as I said, this thing does have a lot of ammo. We're putting on the 60 round mag. I promise you, you need it. This thing will wipe absolutely a bunch of squads just with one magazine. And lastly, for the stock, we're using something helping with the recoil, just gun kick control, making it more predictable, is going to be the HVS 3.4 pad, helping with recoil control and the gun kick control. But that is all I have for the build, man. Take a screenshot of this class, and as I said, this thing is absolutely insane. As you guys can see, this thing does not move at all once you control recoil with your thumb. For this next weapon, I was kind of stuck on what route I wanted to go, just because the first three loadouts are really the metas that everyone uses. But another meta, man, I'm using the BP50, but I'm using it as an SMG build. This thing has a lot of ammo, okay, has great mobility, and it's such a fun gun to use. Starting off with the muzzle, the best muzzle to use for all of these sub builds is going to be the Zem compensated flash hider, just increasing vertical recoil control, horizontal firing aim and stability. We're going to see about increase of 5 to 15% on this thing. For the barrel, go ahead and toss on the Lure 9 heavy barrel, increasing all that stuff, the recoil control, bullet velocity on this weapon, and the range. Check the stats. We see all greens up top, man. The range, the recoil control section. We're going to see about a 15% increase for that damage range, 18% for that bullet velocity, and about 8 to 5% for those recoil control, whether horizontal, vertical, or gun kick control. For the magazine, as I said, this thing does have a lot of ammo, 45 round mag, and we're using this as a sub. This thing absolutely shreds. For the stock, we're using the Con 30 padded stock, helping us with movement speed, all right, sprint to fire speed, giving us that SMG feel on this assault rifle, man. Finally, for the last attachment, we are using the TRST IV grip for the rear grip, helping us with recoil control, gun kick control. But that is all I have for the build, bro. Try this class setup out, take a screenshot, whatever you need, and let me just show you about this thing in the firing range. All right, as I said, this thing has absolutely no recoil, all right, and the movement thing this thing gives you is absolutely insane. So make sure to give it a try. But let's head out to our last loadout. For this last loadout on this top 5 video, all right, a lot of you guys aren't going to predict this, but the Striker 9, man. All right, it's such a fun gun to use, has great mobility, has a lot of ammo, and it's just such a fun gun to use. All right, hopping on for the first attachment, we're putting on a muzzle, we're putting on the Zem compensated flash hider. However, for this weapon right here, I am using the DR6 hand stop instead of the FTAC MSP, just because I really don't need that much recoil control on this weapon. For the magazine, I have a 50 round mag. This thing is an absolute tank. For the rear grip, we're using the Socken ZX grip, helping us with the recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aiming stability. We go ahead and check out the stats. We're going to see recoil control increase by 7% for both the horizontal and vertical, and about 10% for the recoil gun kick control. And finally, for the last attachment, the FSS Priority Tactical Stock, as the stock on this thing, increasing movement speed and recoil control. Just best of both worlds. As I said, whenever we could get attachments like this, we want to make sure we're tossing them on, just because it gives you what you need for that recoil control, making it easier to shoot your enemies. Hopping into the firing range with this thing absolutely fries. As you guys see, it has the damage, bro, has the mobility. I'm just finessing around and I'm not losing a lot of mobility on this thing. But that is all I have for you guys, man. That is the best top 5 loadouts to use right now in Warzone. So make sure to give them a try. Let me know how it goes down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to drop a sub on the channel. I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Have a blessed one. Peace out.